Today's chapter is 1 Kings chapter 19. Elijah's journey to Horeb. Ahab told Jezebel everything that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. So Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, "May the gods punish me, and do so severely, if I don't make your life like the life of one of them by this time tomorrow." Then Elijah became afraid and immediately ran for his life. When he came to Beersheba that belonged to Judah, he left his servant there, but he went on a day's journey into the wilderness. He sat down under a broom tree and prayed that he might die. He said, "I have had enough. Lord, take my life, for I'm no better than my ancestors." Then he lay down and slept under the broom tree. Suddenly an angel touched him. The angel told him, "Get up and eat." Then he looked, and there at his head was a loaf of bread baked over hot stones and a jug of water. So he ate and drank and lay down again. Then the angel of the Lord returned for a second time and touched him. He said, "Get up and eat, for the journey will be too much for you." So he got up, ate, and drank. Then, on the strength from that food, he walked 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mountain of God. He entered a cave there and spent the night. Elijah's encounter with the Lord. Suddenly the word of the Lord came to him, and he said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" He replied, "I have been very zealous for the Lord God of armies, but the Israelites have abandoned your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they are looking for me to take my life." Then he said, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the Lord's presence." At that moment the Lord passed by. A great and mighty wind was tearing at the mountains and was shattering cliffs before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire there was a voice, a soft whisper. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. Suddenly a voice came to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" "I've been very zealous for the Lord God of armies," he replied, "but the Israelites have abandoned your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they're looking for me to take my life." Then the Lord said to him, "Go and return by the way you came to the wilderness of Damascus. When you arrive, you are to anoint Hazael as king over Aram. You are to anoint Jehu, son of Nimshi, as king over Israel, and Elisha, son of Shaphat, from Abel Maholah, as prophet in your place. Then Jehu will put to death whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, and Elisha will put to death whoever escapes the sword of Jehu. But I will leave 7,000 in Israel, every knee that has not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." Elisha's appointment as Elijah's successor. Elijah left there and found Elisha, son of Shaphat, as he was plowing. 12 teams of oxen were in front of him, and he was with the 12th team. Elijah walked by him and threw his mantle over him. Elisha left the oxen, ran to follow Elijah, and said, "Please let me kiss my father and mother, and then I will follow you." "Go on back," he replied, "for what have I done to you?" So he turned back from following him and took the team of oxen and slaughtered them. With the oxen's wooden yoke and plow, he cooked the meat and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he left, following Elijah, and served him. 1 Kings chapter 19. One of these days, I've talked about wanting to do commentary and share thoughts on different issues, and that's a chapter I definitely would like to comment on. It's a passage that I think today is very commonly abused in regard to how we in the 21st century hear the voice of God. There's a lot of confusion on this issue. I think part of the issue, I guess I'm giving a mini commentary here, laying out a little bit of my cards on the table. I think one of the issues we have is we read the Bible and we see what's going on with the prophets and the apostles. in these passages that are historical narratives. They're not full-blown didactic passages that are teaching us like-for-like principles in our life. It's not that there's nothing to be learned from them, that there's no didactic element to them. But we look at the prophets and the apostles and the interesting events, and this was an interesting passage that happened to them. And then we try to figure out basically a like-for-like corollary in our life. But there's 8+ billion people in the world. How many of them are Christians? And we're not all prophets and apostles. If any of us are, and that's another debate today that I won't comment on at the moment, but I am certain that I'm not one of them. My name is Joe, and I'm an average Joe. I work a regular job. I go to a regular church, meet with regular people every day, and that doesn't mean God hasn't given me certain gifts, but apostle and prophet I am not. And so I think I cannot look at every passage involving an apostle and a prophet and make a like-for-like corollary in my life. Maybe, I'm not saying there's not things to learn from it, but this passage is just one of the ones that's got a phrase in there. It's not, that phrase isn't in the Christian Standard Bible. It doesn't use the phrase small voice. But people take that and do a lot with it that I don't think is a proper hermeneutic on the Bible. I'm using some words. What is didactic? Didactic is a teaching passage. So didactic just means a teaching. Hermeneutic, what's hermeneutic? A hermeneutic is the art and science of interpreting. And we, as Christians, honestly, we treat the Bible so weirdly. So much of the church treats the Bible weirdly. And I honestly would love to see more Sunday school classes or midweek classes where informed elders who really have their act together would teach classes on things like hermeneutics. They teach these things in seminaries and Bible colleges. And the good thing is you don't have to have a seminary or Sunday school class to learn these things. You can learn these things on your own. If you are a reader with good comprehension skills, where you don't need someone to guide your learning, you can pick up a good book on the subject. You can read and learn much from it. Or you can feel free to bounce comments and read a book and bounce comments off me. But there's many good books on hermeneutics and how to interpret the Bible. A popular one, a reasonably popular one. There's no such thing as a popular book on hermeneutics, but a good one to pick up at what I would call popular level is reading. I think the title is reading how to read the. This is the title: How to Read the Bible for All It's Worth. Gordon Fee, and I can't remember the name of the other author, but very good book to help you on learning a bit on how to read the Bible and understand it accurately and apply it appropriately. So anyway, little running commentary there. 1 Kings 19, we got that down in the books. Well, for 3 years, since this is a 3-year journey through the Bible, any passage we read, we don't come back to it for another 3 years. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening if you hung around, and hope to see you back here tomorrow.